Hello, and welcome to another X-Pro tutorial for SolidWorks modeling. In the previous tutorials, we learned how to use some of the standard sketch tools such as line, circle, rectangle, and so on. But to wrap up the story regarding sketch tools, we have to learn how to use trim, convert entities, offset entities, mirror, linear, sketch, and circular sketch patterns. So let's begin. All right. You can start by opening a new part and then press OK. The first sketch tool that we will use is Convert Entities. I'll draw a shape using a spline tool on the top plane. The spline tool is activated simply by left-clicking and dragging the mouse. The closer the density points are to each other, the higher the density of the area. I will circle to the point where I started. It's done, so now I just press Escape, and I'll extrude this using an extrude boss. For example, 10 millimeters mid-plane. Now we have a shape. Imagine you receive this part from a customer, and you want to create a sketch that is exactly aligned with the outer edge of this part. The way you can do this is by using Convert Entities. Let's start a sketch on this flat surface. Right-click Sketch, and let's go over to the Sketch tab and select Convert Entities. Now you can either select the edge or the surface. It doesn't matter, it will work. So I will select Edge first. Now you see it has converted the edge to a sketch. Let's go backward by clicking Ctrl and Z. I will select Convert Entities again and select this surface. So we have the same result. Let's exit the sketch by opening this drop-down menu where it says Solid Bodies and hide this solid body. We are left with only a sketch. I will bring this back now and edit this sketch. Let's say, for example, that I want to offset these inwards for 5 millimeters. The way I can do this is simply by using Offset Entities. I will select it and see what we have under Options. It says here, Add Dimensions. This means that after I click OK, I have offset this sketch. It will automatically create a smart dimension defining the value for the offset. Let's select this sketch and you will see it automatically. Offsets it outwards, but I want it inwards. So let's say Reverse. Now it's inwards. And I set 5 millimeters and click on Select Chain. This means that it will automatically select all the lines that are connected and bidirectional. If I want to offset both inwards and outwards, I can do this by selecting bidirectional. If I have a bidirectional offset, I can change these lines to construction geometry. If I select this space, the geometry will be changed to a center line. I can clarify that the offset geometry will be transformed into a center line, or I can say that both of them are, but I don't want this currently. I just want a one-directional offset inwards, which is 5 millimeters. Okay, now we see that this has a dimension of 5 millimeters offset. I can change it simply by double-clicking again. For example, I will change it to 7. Now I want to change this outer line to a construction line. Right-click and click on Construction Geometry. I also want to cut this contour, so I'll go to Features, Extrude Cut through All, and click OK. After using the Convert Entities and Offset Entities functions, we were able to obtain the shape we needed from the original part. Okay, let me delete this, and this sketch too. There is another option to convert entities which is called Intersection Curve. Allow me to demonstrate its functionality by drawing a pipe for you. I will make a circle starting from the origin, for example 50, and offset the circle outwards 5 millimeters. I will use Extrude Boss and keep it blind. I will change the direction. Let's say 100 millimeters, click OK, and now, on the top plane, I will draw another cylinder, which is an actual circle, starting from the origin point. And let's assume that its diameter is 80 millimeters. We haven't used surface tools yet. We will use them in the next tutorials. For now, just to show what the intersection curve does, I will use Extrude Surface. This will be OK. Now what I need is a sketch of the intersection between these two cylinders, so I'll put it right here, and it can be done using a tool called Intersection Curve. Under the Convert tab in the sketch, you'll find a drop-down menu located here. Firstly, I will select this cylinder and its outside surface. Then I will go to the Convert Entities drop-down menu and select Intersection Curve. What it does is create a 3D sketch that is located at the intersection of these two cylinder surfaces. We can exit this sketch and delete these two. After the leading features, you are left with sketches that were used to make them. But I will delete this over here too. The next tool that I will show you is Mirror Entities. For this one, I'll draw 2 lines first. One here, double-click to interrupt the command, and another line here, double-click escape. I will hover over the center until the square rises. Let's say that these two are coincident. And these are vertical. These 2 lines can be the same or equal. Then let's add a center line between these two. Now we can add some dimensions. For example, this can be 100, and this distance can be 150 millimeters. Next, we'll add some more lines. I will interrupt the command with 2 vertical lines, then interrupt again with another vertical line. And now look what I'll do. I will go down first and then up. This will automatically activate the tangent line and tangent RC command. I will do the same here. I will go upwards. Start from the center of the vertical line and move outwards to activate the tangent arc automatically. Okay, we will add some relations. These 2 arcs are equal. We can add a smart dimension from here to the center line. And notice this. If I'm dimensioning the vertical line to the center line between the 2 of them, I will get this dimension. Upon going outside, I can measure the maximum distance from the vertical line on the left, which is symmetric. And if I had another one on the right, let's say that this is 80 millimeters. We have to add a radius to these arcs and a length, for example, 25 to these small vertical lines. All right. In order to make this part symmetrical, I can use mirror entities so I don't have to draw them again on this side. So let's select mirror entities. When prompted, I specify which elements to mirror and choose to mirror them around a vertical center line. Here we have a copy. If this is not checked, I will only mirror these entities on the other side, and these will disappear. But this is not what I want. I will go backwards. I will select these again, mirroring this vertical center line. And I will check this copy, then click OK, and now I have a fully defined sketch which I can change simply by changing one side. Everything on this site will change too. Let's go back to 25. Now we're ready to extrude this. Let's go to Features, Extrude Boss, Mid-Plane, let's say 160 millimeters or 150. Okay? Another example of how we can use mirror entities, have a plush pace, and look normal to the front plane. Let's create a sketch on a front plane and add another center line from the top to the origin point, and I will add a center slot. Let's include a few dimensions. For example, from here to here, we have 40, same here, and the width is 15. Again, I can use this type of dimension, but this only works if you have a center line in the middle. Let's say 70 millimeters. Now I want to mirror the slot. Let's go to Mirror Entities, select the slot, and mirror about this vertical center line. I press OK. Let's talk about the features. I want to create slots in that part, extrude them, and see through both. If I want to change the position of these 2 slots, I don't have to go to the Edit Sketch here. In the Cut Extrude feature, the way I can do an advisor is just to double-click here in the slot. And dimensions will appear which I can change them. Let's say, for example, that this is 50, and the other one is also a presenter. And here we go. Let's add some punching pins to this surface of the park. I want to add, for example, 30. However, I don't have to draw 30 circles and then extrude them. The faster way I can do it is by using a linear sketch pattern. It can look normal on the surface of the part, and let's draw a circle here. I'll put it 5 millimeters. As we see, it's 5 millimeters from this edge and 5 millimeters from this edge. Now we have a fully defined sketch. I want these circles all over this surface though. To do that, I will select this circle and say, Linear Sketch Pattern. The way it works is by asking you in direction 1, which is the x-axis. And how many of them do you want? At what distance and direction to which is here and y-axis, and how many of them? What distance? As long as there is one here or here, it will not add any patterns to that in that direction here. If I want, then I can add, but I need more. I needed 15, and I want them to be downward along the y-axis. If I change this to 2, you see, I have another row, but in the direction. So I can just flip the direction by clicking here. Now I can add more rows than will be enough. Let's confirm. Now you can see that we have an underdefined sketch. This is because I have to add at least one dimension in the y direction and at least one in the x direction. It doesn't really matter. It can be from here to here or from here to here. It doesn't matter. I will say, from this circle to this circle, now. The x direction for this roll is fully defined. Let's add a dimension from here to here. But still, it's underdefined. Let's see why I can move this left and right. I have to say that, for example, this point and this are vertical. And now we have a fully defined sketch. Let's extrude these pins by going to Features, Extrude Boss, and put it like 10 millimeters. Let's add a draft of 5 degrees too. Now we have some pins on this tool. What if I had a cylinder instead of a rectangle? I could use a linear pattern, but a circular pattern would be more convenient. Let's delete these features and this sketch, and let's draw a circle on a top lane. Let's say it's 30 millimeters, and let's extrude it. But in the other direction, now we can start a sketch on this surface. And let's take it normal. I will add a circle which has a diameter of 3 millimeters in the center, and I'll add 2 more. Let's say that these 3 points are all vertical and that these 3 circles are equal. One more thing we have to add is a dimension between them. Let's say it's 6 millimeters. Now I want a circular pattern of these pins. This way, let's go to Sketch and select Circular Patterns. First, I will select the entities to pattern, and this is the one I want. And it automatically starts. If I want 4 pins, I will just say 4 here. That's okay. Let's say, for now, another one has to be added here for this circle. I want 8 of them to be better. As you can see, the sketch is, again, undefined. For me, the easiest way to fully define the sketch is just by drawing a circle that is connected to one of these. Another one from the center here. We can change this to the construction geometry. We have to add some dimensions too. It seems that the problem is that I have to connect this to the circle, and I'll do this simple like this one too. And here we go. Now we have a fully defined sketch. Let's extrude this by going to Features, Extrude. We will keep the same pin parameters, including a 5-degree draft. And there we go. So we use the circular pattern to create these pins. But if I want to change the number of pins, now I can right-click on this Boss Extrude, say Edit Sketch, and I can find these numbers are just floating around. I have 8 here and 4 here. For instance, I want 6 circles. In this first row, double-click on this 4 and change it to 6. And I want 14 in the second row. Just change this value. It's that easy. Now if I exit the sketch, we will have more pins here. We can delete these features. Summing up, the last tool we have left for today is Trim Entities. I want to create a cross that has arcs on its ends. The way I can do this is by drawing a circle. Let's give it the diameter of 100. Double-click on the scroll button. We'll put the drawing in the middle of the screen. Wherever you are, double-click on the scroll button, and it will put whatever you have drawn or extruded or made a 3D model in the center of the screen. Okay, I need a circle that is 100 millimeters in diameter. Now I will add 2 corner rectangles, one like this and one like that. We have to add some relations. Let's say that this center and this origin are horizontal and this one is vertical. Same thing here. All right, we can say that these 2 lines are equal, and these 2 also. If I change this, everything will change accordingly. Instead of horizontal or vertical lines, I want arcs on the ends of the cross. The way I can do it is actually, first I need to fully define the sketch. Let's say this is 125, this 25. Now I have a fully defined sketch. So what I can do is trim away all the unnecessary sketch entities and gears until I have a cross that has arcs on its ends remaining. Here, let's start over. Let's use Trim Entities. Select, Power Trim, and keep trimmed entities as construction geometry. Hold the left click and remove whatever is necessary to have a cross. Here we go. Now we have a cross that has arcs as its endpoints. Let's confirm the Trim tool. Let's go to Features and click on Extrude Midplane. Put it 10 millimeters for example. Add some holes on all 4 ends, and I will start by right-clicking on the surface and say Sketch. Next, add a circle here that will be 5 millimeters. We need to say that it is vertical to the origin point, then add a dimension like 40 millimeters. Now I want it on all 4 sides, so I can use a circular pattern. I will click on this sketch. I will click on this circle. Let's go to Sketch again, click on Sketch, and here in the drop-down menu press Circular Sketch Pattern. And it will automatically make it better. I need 4 points. And let's say, now I just have to fully define this. So I see that this point and the origin are horizontal, where I can add a value of 40. Now I have fully defined sketch. We can extrude these holes through both base isometric views. To make this a bit nicer, we can add some fillets here in the corners. Let's say 2 millimeters or 5 in all 4 corners. Confirm this. And we can choose fillet to these corners, which can also be 5. Once you start filleting, a selection toolbar will appear here, if it's checked. So once I start filtering here, a selection toolbar will be shown. And it can help me in selecting all the edges at once. I won't have to go and select each one of them, one by one, so I can just start with one. And then see which one of these will work best for me. And now I can see it as this one, because all the edges I want are selected. And I just confirm this. I can add a chamfer on these edges too. Chamfer, for example, 2 millimeters. And I can select this edge and this one too. We have now gone over the fundamental tools required for sketching in SolidWorks. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you like it, and I'll see you in the next one.